there's definitely a time where you see things different, where you react differently, because you've been in a situation where you've had to react differently. And I think that's part of the adjustment period back home, because our children, our loved ones expect us to be who we were when we left. And that's not possible. It's just not possible.
But how sad would that be if we came out and you say, oh my God, they're the same? We read social media comments. We see the articles that are written, people saying, well, Todd doesn't look like he's ever gone to prison. Well, in another life, I would have been like to the kids or to Julia, I mean, okay, great. So they wrote a positive article about how I looked. So, I mean, that's a good thing. Now I'm like, why are we talking about how I look? Why are we not talking about what I went through? All the people that's still going through this today. How can you expect a 28-year-old girl who she took on the responsibility of her younger brother and her younger sister. She ran the finances for the family. She fought to get her mother and father home every day of her life. She lost her former fiance to a motorcycle accident. And who did she grieve to? Who was there for her to collapse to? I wasn't there for her. So, when you start thinking about resentment and anger, that has to be there. So how can she be the same person? Because the world wants to look at our children and remember that she's this 16-year-old girl that wrecked every car that she ever got into. Or that, she was making bad decisions, oh, I'm going to date this musician, which I said then wasn't a good idea. But that's not who she is anymore. She is a 28-year-old educated young woman who has a brilliant mind, who has an amazing heart. I look at my children and I know that Savannah has a servant's heart. And so when you raise a child that you see that, you have to say, out of all the things that I may have dropped the ball on, I didn't drop the ball with that. I do believe that, listen, I could have done some things better. I could have been less strict on some things and more strict on others. I say that if I had my time to go over, every one of them would have worked in an ice cream shop, when they were 13 years old and earned every dime that they got. But
I think that's illegal. We don't need to go back.